Welcome to Overwatch. This time we'll be looking at the previous week's eSports events. I'd like to make this a somewhat regular thing, and well, what a weekend to start with. I guess I should probably make sure everyone is up to speed with how the pro scene in Overwatch currently operates, so let's begin there. There's no complete scene just yet, nothing similar to what you'd see in League of Legends like the LCS, no pro circuit ending in a World Finals like a Dota, nothing like that just at the moment. Every week we generally see two very regular events, the GoTo Gamers Weeklies and the ESL Go for Overwatch Tournament. Currently, the GoTo Gamer Weeklies generally edge it out in terms of team attendance. A bigger prize pool and more coverage means that there's teams more interested in focusing there, but this does give a lot of lower tier teams space to play around in the Go for Overwatch tournaments, although they are primarily European. On top of these regular weeklies, we also get events. This weekend saw two absolutely huge events wrap up, in particular the One Nation of Gamers Operation Breakout and the JoshOG Invitational. Both events boasted major prize pools, $15,000 and $25,000 respectively, and had a full host of pro teams with, well, a couple of minor issues. The big story for this week in Overwatch eSports has to be Team EnvyUs. As a team, these players are no strangers to doing incredible win streaks. Being the core of IDDQD, a team with an absolutely insane win rate during the beta, I think went something like 53-0 before eventually dissolving. But after a slight bumpy start once the game launched, and Cloud9 coming out completely dominant for the first couple of weeks, there are a few questions on how crucial Mendo Kusai and Tavik were to that success. And then they answered that recently with an absolutely phenomenal series of wins. Since Saturday the 11th of June, they have gone undefeated in a series. That was GoTo Gamers Weekly EU number 12, where they lost to Reunited in the finals. And it's not like they've been quiet or facing weak competition either. Several recent series against top dogs Cloud9 have recently gone 3-0 to Envy, as well as completing both the JoshOG and the ONOG this weekend with not dropping a single map. Let me clarify, in a best of 3, 5 or 7 series, they have always clean sweeped their opponents in 2 major tournaments. It cannot be overstated just how much they look on another level right now. In my opinion, EnvyUs have 2 major things in their favour. First, they were the first organisation in Overwatch to get a team house. Internet Hulk or Talespin, I can't quite remember which, in an interview downplayed this fact a little bit, but I've heard time and again how powerfully useful it is to have all your team in a central location in esports. It makes practice easier, it makes focus easier, it gives you easy access to the expertise of your teammates, and just focuses players a lot more on developing their play in the game. They likely spend an overwhelming amount of their time just talking about the game freely and easily with each other. That kind of communication smooths things out even further with a core team that is, well, already one of the oldest and most established around. Only Talespin is a relative newcomer, and by many accounts he is a very mature individual with years of top level experience over many different games. Second, the meta favours them somewhat right now. With McCree and Widowmaker nerfed and a few major tournaments now past, it's safe to say we are in the dawn of the Pharah and Reaper meta. Thankfully for Envy, they have the best Pharah in the world right now. Talespin makes otherwise good Pharahs, Seagull, Surefall, Reaver, Mangachu, AKM, Unfixed, all look a level below. Taimu will also get an honourable mention, one of the stronger hit-scan players, and can certainly play Reaper and Soldier 76 alongside McCree to a high level, meaning he can basically outplay many opponents on the opposite team. Combined with players that are, well, some of the best in their individual roles, it shouldn't be surprised that Envy are enjoying a lot of success right now. Now that I've also mentioned their names, by the way, let me clear the air on a few players and just get the statement out the way. Taimu and Surefall. I'm positive there'll be questions in the comments, so I'll just address it quickly just to get rid of the elephant in the room. I do not believe either of them are hacking. Taimu especially has been very quick to answer any criticism or accusations with first-person footage, and after going over it at about quarter speed, I'm willing to believe that he is not hacking. Surefall I haven't had the chance to look into quite as much. What I am aware of, however, is that Blizzard are keeping an eye on the scene somewhat and were aware of the high-profile accusations. They're still playing, so I have to assume Blizzard have given them the clear. In the meantime, let's look elsewhere. JoshOG and ONOG both saw Cloud9 look increasingly mortal. Although they took down Rogue in the ONOG, they had a cross-server advantage. Rogue put up a decent fight, including a cheeky back capture on King's Row in a moment I now want to call a Cloud9.
Oh my god, it finishes the map! Oh my god, I hope Imagine saw that, because it was ridiculous.
Oh my god, Tavik, you ninja! That was amazing. What a moment. He just zipped through the entire team and said, "Don't worry, lads, the cavalry's here." That's the last time I'm going to do a Tracer impression, by the way, on stream. and just randomly there's the boost.
Totally ignoring an objective and getting punished for it. They also saw the same thing happen, by the way, against Luminosity, where they basically lost about half the hangar phase of Watchpoint Gibraltar with no contesting it. It was crazy. This being said, a second place finish in ONOG isn't bad, but coming fourth in the OG Invitational will probably sting a bit, especially as rivals Luminosity took second place. While they couldn't measure up to Envy, the matchup between Luminosity and Cloud9 is a very difficult one to call. In the past, Cloud9 have generally looked the stronger, but Luminosity seem to be going through a period of experimentation with what lineups they're using. Looking at Watchpoint Gibraltar in particular, they use a double sniper lineup for the first point, which is very interesting. They might show some strength near the future. Wrapping up on North American teams, I want to highlight Northern Gaming Red, a team that is coming out very strong in recent tournaments. Special big shout out to Bird and Wolf in particular. Bird, being a new signing, is doing very, very well for himself and has definitely complemented the team, and Wolf has been playing at a phenomenal level. In the European side of things, counting Envy as some weird EU-NA hybrid monster, Rogue continue to put on strong performances. A team that I highlight for its super aggressive playstyle and an increasing use of an interesting first attack strategy, using a zero mercy lineup with high aggression to try and take a first point fast. Rogue is a team worth watching just for strategic purposes as well as just their overall style of play. The European side of things has had a bit of a quiet week with two major North American oriented events happening, but finishing third probably felt nice for them in the ONOG. Reunited, however, a team that used to be number 2 in EU, seems to be struggling slightly. While still beating out lower tier teams reliably, new signings Misfits, formerly known as Graviton Surge, are enjoying a recent flurry of success and have knocked them out of the second place slot in Europe. In a recent interview, Misfits pointed out their recent solving of shot calling issues to be helpful in pushing them towards victory. Finally, for European teams, Creation eSports seem to be enjoying some success in a quiet EU week, taking down longtime rivals Reunited and beating Rogue in a relatively small Amazon Gaming Series tournament, doing pretty damn well for themselves. Also, just to quickly mention a couple of up-and-coming teams that you might want to keep an eye on in the future. ANOX, that's ANOX Overwatch, and OW Kings continue to have good showings in a couple of open tournaments and keep reliably picking up high placing finishes there. Not too surprising considering some of the names on both these teams are fairly old, and OW Kings is certainly not a new team, but good signs for them. Notable omissions this week also include Team Liquid, which are struggling understandably after a couple of recent roster changes, and Northern Gaming Blue, who failed to produce any real meaningful results this week. Galeforce Esports also, who notably have managed to beat Northern Gaming Red recently, seem to be struggling to find results against some of these higher tier teams. Next week's events seem, well, relatively quiet compared to this week, with standard Go for Overwatch and Go to Gamer weeklies, but no major events. Might be a nice rest for a couple of the teams. Definitely keep an eye on how EnvyUs are going to be doing, and keep an eye on the European scene especially. I'm going to be interested to see if Reunited can come out on top once more and actually manage to take that top slot, or if they're going to fall to Rogue or Creation once again. If I had to recommend one series to watch from this week, I'd actually really struggle immensely. There was a lot of really great Overwatch this week, but I'll keep an eye out for next time. As for Team of the Week, well, it just has to be Envy. They've just been performing incredibly well, and just going completely clean through ONOG and JoshOG is insanely good. Player of the Week, I'll also throw that to Talespin. He has been absolutely dominating all week on his Pharah, and it's beautiful to watch. It's the kind of performance that just makes you want to go and play and practice Pharah a lot more. Go give him some love. I'll shove his social media stuff in the description and probably on screen as well, so go give him a shout out and say how wonderful he is at the game. Thank you for watching to the end. As this is a new series, I'm more than happy to take some feedback. Let me know what you guys are interested in, as this is a very packed week. There wasn't too much time to talk meta or many specifics, but I'll certainly look to do that more in the future. Toodles.